Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. Christmas Eve is here and the holiday spirit of giving is in full swing, with traditional humanitarian events taking place around the country, including free food. Zagreb Mayor Milan Bandic was on the main square today to dish out 10,000 portions of Croatia's Christmas Eve favorite, salt cod soup.
I think this is the best way to treat people, out here in the open air. We do this kind of event at least twice a year.
Today is all about tradition, and each city has its own style. Down in Dubrovnik, music and Christmas carols can be heard on every corner, and especially on the famous Stradun pedestrian street within the old city walls. And on to the Dalmatian capital of Split, where both singing and eating were in full force. Citizens and tourists alike were treated to 5,000 portions of free salt cod soup in the annual humanitarian action called From Split with Love.
200 kilograms of salt codfish, homemade olive oil, lots of onions, parsley, garlic, and tomato paste. We've been doing this for 12 years. This is a tradition that has spread around Dalmatia and the whole country. It brings me lots of joy.
And now for a look at the Slavonian city of Osijek and their 300-year-old Baroque citadel, where fish paprikaš was on the menu. 350 kilograms of carp were stewed in cauldrons on open fires by chefs well-versed in the Slavonian specialty. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrej Plenković took time from his busy schedule to walk around downtown Zagreb with his family and once again wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
I wish everyone a Merry Christmas. We must take the time to look within ourselves, stick to our values, and always try to do the right thing. So once again, Merry Christmas.
President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović gave an interview for the Večernji List Daily, where she commented on the problems facing Croatian society and the nation's declining demographics, a platform she has put at the forefront of her mandate. She said more focus should be put on creating jobs, increasing the birth rate, and keeping young people in the country. The president also said that a 25% value-added tax was much too high, and steps needed to be taken to lower it. Former SDP Prime Minister Zoran Milanovic appeared in today's edition of the Novi List Daily and denied rumors of a political comeback. He did, however, leave the door open slightly by confirming only that his career with the SDP was over.
At the moment, I'm not considering a run for president. I possess a certain amount of political experience, which for our standards is quite extensive. But will that experience ever be put to the test and in the service of the nation at a high level? That I don't know.
The Archbishop of Zagreb, Cardinal Josip Bozanic, gave his traditional Christmas Eve message of peace and hope, saying now more than ever people should be more positive and emphasize all that is good in their lives.
There is a lot of good around us. Our families, neighbors, organizations, and our Croatian homeland. We must open our eyes to what is good and make room for positivity in Croatian society. Let God help us do good for others. Let us emphasize what is good instead of what is bad and what spreads fear and distrust in our lives. Let Christmas help us prevent the spread of evil and hatred in all its forms.
Taking a quick look at sports and domestic basketball action, Cedevita came out on top this afternoon versus Hermes Analitika, also from Zagreb, 73-68. Today's win comes less than 24 hours after last night's stunning overtime victory against Zadar. In hockey news, veteran American coach Douglas Bradley is replacing Canada's Connor Cameron on the bench for Zagreb's Medveščak. Bradley had been with the team from 2009 to 2011, even serving a short stint as head coach. Cameron and Medveščak parted ways after only half a year due to his family obligations in Canada and an overall poor result on the bench. Their 5-2 drubbing last week to Dornbirn was the team's 9th consecutive loss. The Bears' next game is on December 26th against Villacher in Austria.
The weather forecast for tomorrow calls for mostly sunny skies. Christmas morning will have low-lying clouds and fog during the morning in the interior. The northern Adriatic will also see fog, but with light rain towards the end of the day. Winds mostly weak, with a moderate southwesterly on the open seas. Morning lows of -6 and -2 in the interior, slightly warmer in the far east, and between 2 and 8 on the coast, will give way to above-average temperatures for this time of year, from 9 to 14 degrees in the interior and up to 16 degrees Celsius on the coast. The 3-day forecast for the interior calls for rain in higher elevations on Tuesday, spreading to central areas by Wednesday. Moderate to strong southeasterly and southwesterly winds are expected. Colder weather is in the forecast for Thursday, with rain turning to sleet and snow in most areas by the end of the day. On the Adriatic coast, a moderate southeasterly wind will blow on Tuesday, bringing increased clouds as well as rain to northern areas. Southeasterly winds will increase by midweek to gale force strength. Rains will also increase in intensity. Winds are expected to switch to a northeasterly on Thursday, bringing colder temperatures.
And that wraps up the news. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow night.